Howdy y'all, Takey here, and welcome to another adventure. We are continuing in Final Fantasy XIV, post-Endwalker, doing the Pandæmonium raids. My Themis. I don't want to. I don't want to accept it! I swear to God, if the song changes and has anything to do with To the Edge, I'm gonna lose it. I really don't want to do it, guys. I don't want to have to fight him. I don't want to do it. Okay. Oh, the music! Oh, shoot! How do you know? Shoot. Oh, shoot. Okay, I had it right. Shoot! Shoot! Okay. Stop freezing on me! No! Just burn this before I die! I'm not gonna make it. I made it! I was not expecting that. I was like so in the zone. Oh, my boy. You see that symbol over there? Is that, because I want to say that top symbol is La Habrea's if you flip it upside down. I want to say that top symbol is La Habrea's. We need you, Themis. Your work isn't over yet. You must. We need you. You're not done yet. Please come back. I feel so sorry for him. I feel so sorry for him. We're friends. Friends. We're friends. Oh my God, that was stressful. Oh, it's Scream! I did not see that. She's pretty though. Pretty as I die. Oh no! No! Oh damn! I'm gonna fall. I can't load it because it keeps glitching! Don't ask me how I'm alive. I don't know. I shouldn't be. I should not be alive right now. Oh! Ah! Darn it! Darn it! How disappointing. Truly useless to the last. Oh, Eric. And who made me that way. That's how his story ends? Or his memory. Both of his stories end terribly. The real him gets sundered. And the memory him is like, I know I'm useless. You made me this way. Oh my God, that's terrible. Now Pandæmonium's gone. Doesn't that mean these two would go too? Doesn't that mean these two would go too? They were created by her magic. I'd assume so. Damn! His story ends badly both ways. La ha ha ha. Silence. He just lost his son again. Although Themis was not but a collection of memories, I know his absence pains you. But he acted with resolve, full aware of the potential consequences. Let us look back on this moment not with sorrow, but with pride. You both are the heroes of the day. Athena's ambitions would have swallowed the world had you not stemmed their advance. We shall stay here, both to look over Professor Claudine and to ensure that there are no further disturbances in the ethereal sea. You should rest, and I'll not take no for an answer. Oh my god, that's how Eric's story ends. Guided by the past, library watches over Claudine with concern. It seems we can do naught but wait. That is such a sad way to go. Like, his last... Oh god, that's terrible. Well, he is Eric, partially. I can't with this. Perhaps we might discuss a matter which has been troubling me. While your colleague Nimjiji has enlightened us of the historical events, one which led to this era, she let slip the name of one of the Asians, La Habrea. It's you. Although she knew of the figure only from her research, she was most insistent that there is no evidence connecting the Asian to myself. Yeah, I am aware that this La Habrea used the heart of Sabik to sow chaos through your world, and I would be a fool to deny such strong connections between us. You are the only one present who has met the Asian in question, so I would ask you directly, are he and I one and the same? Is my fate to work in the shadows and bring untold destruction? So here's the dealio, yo. We met La Habrea in Elpis and in the present, right? There's no assurance that this La Habrea was the same La Habrea because we don't know what he looks like because he body hopped so much. He just looked like Thancred because he was Thancred. So technically, it could be another person being the La Habrea because the personalities are so different. But the heart of Sabik, he had it. No one else flipping had it. And not only that, it warps your desire. And his desire to bring back Theris could warp him. I can't be certain. It could be another La Habrea. It could be Ericthonius. What are the chances that it's Ericthonius? Because the sundering happened shortly after this. All the other convocation seats are the same. Including Pandæmonium. Oh! I'm like 90% sure it's the same guy. Like, what are the chances that the seat changed between Pandæmonium and the end of days? It's him. You are him. You're him. I'm sorry, you are. And you're just corrupted by the heart. I see. If you say it is so, then there is no reason to disbelieve it. I want to know what the other answers are. I'm going to look that up later. These Asians, or paragons, I'm told, were ruthless in their schemes to drain the sundered worlds. I have heard but a small number of their deeds, and still I find it difficult to comprehend the depths to which they were willing to sink. To choose a path of evil, all for the sake of the star. But that's what you would do. You would choose it for the sake of the star. I admit, 'tis a decision I would make under the right circumstances. Although the ages may take their toll, my devotion to my duty will never waver. It's the same person. Paying no heed to what might be lost, I would treat the heart of Sabik as a mere tool for my own ends. Never caring to look beyond the surface, I unleash forces that I fail to truly comprehend, remain blissfully ignorant of my hypocrisy all the while. And it's you too, Themis. You do the same thing as Elidibus. Oh, he does kind of look like Eric. I just realized that. It appears Claudine has awakened. Hi, Claudine. You do kind of look like Eric. Taika, I have some faint memories of what transpired. You stood against Athena and won. And you were there too. La Habrea, Erichthonius' memories of you dwell within me still. He's not really dead. Though unyielding discipline you hoped to forge a son equal to yourself, but the crucible you placed him in left scars which loathed to heal. Yet you were never motivated by selfishness. All you did was in service of your duty. At least, I will hear no more. Though you may possess Erichthonius' memories, you are not him. In rebirth, you have become someone else entirely. You belong to this age. As such, I am your enemy, and an enemy does not deserve sympathy. Yes, they do! Of course, I would never condone the actions of an Ascian, but you are not him. You are La Habrea of the Convocation. You spared no effort in saving us from Athena's machinations, and for that you deserve the utmost praise, and my personal thanks. He will do whatever he needs to protect the star. If you insist on deceiving yourself, then so be it. My stance remains unchanged. The most difficult of your trials is behind you, but you may find that Pandæmonium has yet to relinquish the last of its secrets. Among them is the identity of FFXIV's liberator, who set the very first wheels in motion. There is but one place to find these answers, in the past. Back to Elpis. However, I must insist that you keep silent about Athena's fate. While I doubt it would change the decision I make, you should not tender us information we could not uncover ourselves. So don't tell them anything. Now that I have said my piece, I shall follow in my son's footsteps. Goodbye. Those odious memories will fade to nothing, as was always their fate. Farewell. Aww. Not you too, Themis. My time too draws near, but I believe I can stay long enough to see this matter through. You shall journey to the past to seek out the truth of La Habrea's words, yes? While Themis himself may have been there to see this encounter, I have the unique opportunity to hear his perspective on the matter. That is, of course, if you will share it with me. I look forward to it. I shall take in the ethereal sea one final time as I await your return. I feel so bad for Themis. So, I was wrong in thinking that Eric wasn't La Habrea that we knew. That was wrong. La Habrea was La Habrea. Hephaestus was La Habrea. I think the reason why there was such a big personality shift now is because he had the heart of the beak on him when the world was sundered, and it increases your desires in like a perverted way, basically. So that's how he became the La Habrea that we knew in the present. Poor Eric. Even the memory of Eric was like, you made me worthless. Like, I'm here to watch you die, you made me worthless. Which is terrible. And then you have Themis, who's waiting for the answer here. But I was right in thinking that Claudine was part of Erichthonius' soul. He is the Source's version, the Source's shard of Erichthonius' soul. That's so sad, dude. It is so flippin' sad. That is so sad. These guys do not have happy endings, like, at all. We're back. Hey, look, there's people! People! Do you have auto report? No. People! Pandæmonion's protective force have been restored. Hegemony! Oh, you're the... Ah, you must be Tega. I am Hegemony, keyword of Abyssos, but I suspect you may have already known that. We did meet once before, after all, although I was not entirely myself at the time. She was Plant Lady. Thanks to you, however, I can rightly say my faculties are mine once more. At present, I am taking stock of the damage done to the facility. Themis! Thank you for checking up on us. Did you speak with Hegemony at the other wardens as you were here? The work is long, but we might have great strides in undoing anything that's meddling. Arcthonius! Taika, I didn't expect to see you again so soon, but 'tis a joy. You seem quite happy to be here. Yeah, because you guys are gone. You're gone in my world. Hi, guys. He is shorter. Kind of. Taika, truth be told, I thought you would have little reason to ever visit this place again. It seems I was wrong. I just wanted to say hello. No, I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for answers. Probra. How neatly you obfuscate your motives. Do as you will, then. She has gone through the trouble to visit us, so I hardly think curtness is in order. We braved Pandæmonium together. Why not at least share with her our progress? I have relinquished control of Pandæmonium to La Habrea. I was never meant to hold it for long, and now such authority resides in rightful hands. With La Habrea's help, we have poured through Athena's research into the hemithoi. Thus, we are able to restore Hegemony's mind and body. Yet, there's still much work to be done. Damage to repair, keywords to replace, the tasks are too many to count. But although the path may be long, our progress is steady, and I believe we can safely say that Pandæmonium will soon function as it did before. What? Indeed. Before we reach that point, however, there are some matters which must be put to rest. One concerns Pandæmonium itself, and another a personal matter. Until they are settled, I cannot move forward. It shall not take long. Lack of resolve caused me to delay, and I have chosen my course. These concerns must be weighty indeed. Do you intend to share your burdens with us? No. Oh, if your bell witness come. Okay. Your arrival at this very moment almost beggars belief, but I shall not ask you to leave. I simply ask you to not interfere, no matter what may happen. What do you mean, no matter what may happen? What are you going to do? Hegemony! She's just staring off into nothingness. Stay here. This will be over soon. What are you going to do? Why did you call me here, Master La Habrea? There is still much to be done if the warrants are to be freed. You have served within Pandæmonium since Athena's time, have you not? That makes you the most senior keyword now that Aggie is gone. As such, you deserve to know the secrets few others are privileged to hear, one concerning myself. I'm gonna tell him about the splinter. Separating Hephaestus from myself required removing part of my soul. A necessary sacrifice, but one which came at no small cost to my natural talents. I am but a shadow of the man I was at the time of the appointment of La Habrea. Wait, I was wrong?! I could never hope to wield the same magics that Hephaestus used to bind the wardens, let alone break their shackles. Is she La Habrea? The tone defeats... Is he about to pass the mantle? Is the no despair only truth? I do not confide in you to garner cheap sympathy. Hephaestus left behind fascinating research. His conclusions was that in order to transform a vessel to Homethios, absolute control over the mind was essential. As you well know, the magics used to achieve such dominion exploit strong emotions within the victims' hearts. In the case of Hephaestus, or Hesperos and Agdistis, their respect for me. Upon slipping his bonds, Hephaestus took steps to throw Pandæmonium into chaos. With their attention divided, keywords and warders alike were easy targets. But there was an act that came before, regardless of Hephaestus' prowess. He could not have won freedom on his own. She freed him? For long days and nights I pondered who might have released him. I could only conclude that Athena's plans were set in motion long, long ago when she claimed the mind of one of her admirers. Hegemony. None would question your pride of your position, your devotion to Pandæmonium. But you do not believe I am the one fit to lead it, do you? Your loyalty lies not with my vision of Pandæmonium, but Athena's. Master La Habrea, whatever has spurred the sudden accusation, I assure you, there was a proper explanation. Oh! Is she still possessed? What the heck is he gonna do? What are you doing, La Habrea? Do not approach! As I have already stated, even should I detect Athena's tinkering, I am currently powerless to dispel it. And so I have come to a decision, one which was made with the best intentions of our star in mind. In order to build a better future, I require the strength I have lost. He's gonna merge with this other half of the soul. I must embrace these odious memories. That Hephaestus La Habrea. The Hephaestus La Habrea is one I know. Mark well this sign, engrave it upon your very soul. You now bear witness to the true La Habrea. Does he kill her? What? And we just watched. I cannot imagine this was an easy choice, but it is done. Is she alive? Yes, she still remembers this lesson well. Up you go. Just got your butt kicked. Athena's puppet no longer, I see. She may yet harbor ill will toward me, but that is a risk I am willing to take. Our star requires a steady hand to guide it, and now must equal the task. I can no longer allow Pandæmonium to divert my focus. Hegemony, I would ask that you serve me anew. There is none other more suited to oversee this prison, none other who will take such pride in their duty. So first I'm going to burn you alive, and then I'm going to give you the position of a lifetime before the end of the world. My loyalty to Athena led me to betray you once before. Why would you allow me to keep the position of keyword? I require your talents as I require Hephaestus's. The past is of no consequence. Very well. In honor of our fallen colleagues, I shall restore the institution to its former glory. That was a weird, like, passing initiation, whatever you want to call it. La Habrea is himself once more. He wields his authority without hesitation and thinks not twice once his judgment is sound. Yet he is different from Athena. He thinks only for the betterment of the star. So long as duty guides his action, he shall not share her fate. And should his convictions ever waver, the emissary will set him back to the proper course. Good, is that the path he chose to walk, then I will walk with him. I'll allow our bond to fray no further. As his son, I shall support him in the days ahead. It's a happy ending now until the end of the world. I would not ask you to say the same, Teika. You and I stand on peaks separate by vast chasms. Our perspectives shall never align. That is true. And never shall one give way to the other, for such is our nature. With that in mind, let us consider any debts beyond us be void. Before you leave here, mark well these words. Don't say something he would have said. My resolve shall weather loss unfathomable and yield before no obstacle. Walk your own path with the same conviction. That's how you end, though. So, it's kind of like, I don't want to, bittersweet. I don't know if that's the right word. Wow, that was rough, yo. That was rough. And you think like, oh, they're so happy now. La Habrea's back, and his son's gonna be with him, and Themis is the emissary, and all is well, and Pandæmonium's gonna be fixed. And then you realize it doesn't flippin' matter. It's all gonna end. Which is really sad. It all ends. It just ends. That is so sad. Because I don't know how soon after these events the final days are, you know? Because all the seats are filled. They haven't said though. So if they say that Fandaniel has become Hermes, or Hermes has become Fandaniel, then we are at the end of days. Because he took the seat of Fandaniel pretty much right at the precipice of the final days. Oh, the music's back to normal. No more random Pandæmonium. Okay, Themis, let me tell you this update. Ah, you are returned. I should like to hear of what you discovered, but I believe your friend has business with us first. It was nice to work with Themis again, though. It really was. There you are, Teika. While you were away, Themis brought me up to speed on all that happened while I was held prisoner. His story shone light upon any number of questions that were niggling at my conscience, namely, those concerning the ethereal signature emanating from Azazla. Doubtless its source was Athena, reaching out as far as she could from her prison, ever grasping for someone to take Erichthonius' place, grasping for the body his soul resided in. I wanted to ask, when you first found the crystal, were you unable to hear the memories stored within? Indeed, it was only after our research was well underway that I could hearken to its whispers. Contact with the crystal should have awakened the memories, but the passage of time likely changed Erichthonius' soul in subtle ways. Perhaps ethereal resonance was a gradual process in this case. However, being attuned to Erichthonius exposed you to Athena's voice as well. Doubtless, the choice to venture forth to Azazla was not your own. It was Athena's influence working through you. I do recall being strangely fixated on acting alone. I never would have encouraged such recklessness usually. Although the choice was not entirely my own, I'm still ashamed of my actions. Reflection is how we plant the seeds we grow, although we must not blame ourselves for events out of our control. That the voice in the crystal belonged to the person from which your soul originated, well, not even the most brilliant researcher could come up to that conclusion. It wasn't your fault, Claudine. Your reassurance means more than you know. Thank you. Now, one final matter. It concerns the very crystal whose discovery set this adventure in motion. Perhaps, sparked by recent events, a new light began to shine from within its depths. From my experience, this may indicate that a new memory has floated to the surface, eager to be observed. Give me the crystal! For some time, the question of why La Habrea and Erichthonius would leave such a crystal behind in the first place has lingered in the back of my mind. With Erichthonius' memories and such magical talents at my disposal, I believe I can make this final memory manifest. Shall we witness it together? The final memory. Don't do it! The final memory. Eric. I leave this memory for you, the future of our star. The final days have come, and the creation magics we so relied upon have now hastened our downfall. Oh no! But despair has not yet won out. La Habrea and the others of the convocation are working to stem the chaos which threatens to engulf our star. Their plans require great sacrifice. Elidibus, Themis, has already offered to give his life for our salvation. You become the heart of Zodiac. Yet there is another problem which must be dealt with. Pandæmonium, wherein are confined our most vicious creations. Even should we survive the final days, it will take time to restore order. If Pandæmonium's cells were breached and the prisoners set upon the star, our hard-won peace would be obliterated in an instant. Someone must stay behind to ensure this never happens. With Themis and La Habrea otherwise indisposed, this responsibility falls to me. And that is why I must defy the directive of the convocation. My soul will not be offered to manifest the will of the star, but instead consigned to an eternal vigil. I know that in doing so, the final days may take me. I may not live to see my duty upheld. He refused to be sacrificed for Zodiac. That's why I have resolved to set this crystal adrift in the tides of the underworld. It contains memories of Pandæmonium from both my father and I, and shall bear the warnings of the future, even if I could not. I am imbuing this crystal with magics that will attract it to my essence. Even should I journey through the underworld and be born anew, this message will reach me. Pandæmonium shall not be left unattended. If all else fails, then perhaps another woman, like my dear friend, will come along, one with an almost unnatural ability to pick up the scent of trouble. Oh! I wonder where she is now. How many souls has she saved, and how many beasts has she slain since we last met? He remembered me to the very end. Alongside my warning, this memory shall carry a wish. Teheka, may we meet again. Now listen well. If anyone receives this message, you must come to Pandæmonium. Please make haste. I repeat. And that's the first message that we got. You must come to Pandæmonium. His father got stuck with the convocation. His friend sacrificed himself to be the heart. And his other friend he never saw again, which was me. Oh my god. Well, that dispels the last of my doubts. Thank you for hearing me. And now we come to this. It survived. Is that the heart of Sabik? That was what was in Ultimate Weapon. The heart of Sabik. Tossed into the ethereal sea. The tie that bound Athena's memories to my body, no doubt. When I regained my senses, I found it on my person. Now it appears your efforts have left it bereft of memories. No trace remains of Athena. However, its powers as Orsite yet remains, and may prove to be a valuable trove of knowledge in the hands of the right researcher. I feel that fate has left it with me for a reason. Be careful. I shall take my leave. On behalf of my colleagues, nay, the entire star, thank you both for putting an end to Athena's wickedness. You gotta be careful with that heart, dude. It's corrupted many a person. This is it. He's gonna go back to the ethereal sea.
I see. Then Hephaestus' story has been laid bare.
They're stalking.
As has the nature of our mysterious crystal. The questions which led us into Pandæmonium are answered, and soon order shall be restored. I too can fade away, unburdened by regret. I could not have reached this point without you, friend.
I don't want you to go.
So many revelations. But there are more, if you would dig a little deeper. Elidibus's soul was plucked from the ethereal sea, and from it I was wrought. Surely you have a passing interest in what I remember, in what I feel. You deserve what answers I can provide. While my memories of Pandæmonium are clear, all else is hazy at best.
Oh, I'm like heartbroken right now, y'all.
Perhaps Athena made me this way. Or perhaps it is the result of who or what I was before.
When he became the heart of Zodiac?
Still, I can recall vague figures, scenes from my future and your past.
I can see.
At the Crystal Tower's peak, we clashed. And later, from that self-same spire, I send you forth.
And he remembered his friend.
Into our age, into Elpis. Why do I decide on such a course? Formless as these images are, I cannot say. However, I can hazard a guess. Somewhere within my fragmented memories, I catch a glimpse of our journey into Pandæmonium. A glimpse which shows not the path we took or the destination where it led us, yet by its very presence demands that you are required in Elpis.
That's why he sent me back.
And even if that act is but one link in the chain of events which ends in Atheris' salvation, then this all has meaning. Our time together, every moment, is worthwhile.
Oh, Themis.
And I am unburdened by regret. That said, it is possible my motivations become something else entirely. That you would cross this vast expanse in the hopes of being reunited with your allies. A devotion that once would have baffled me. But after having been to the depths of
my
that
goodness.
twisted prison and back, I think I can understand. Now, I have pulled back the curtain as far as I dare. The people of your age call this the Ethereal Sea, a name I quite enjoy, for it teems with life, each star a soul on its journey.
I'm gonna find you when you get reborn. If you get reborn, I don't know if you guys get reborn.
These uncountable stars, it was yours that crossed my path. For that, I shall be forever grateful. I wish you well on your journey. A journey as long as your star is bright.
Aww.
A journey not bound by the confines of this world or any other.
Bye. Even though he's just a memory. God, he had such a hard life. He had such a hard life, yo. He had such a hard life. That was rough.
How fascinating. The truths that dwell at the edge of sleep. The course of history is set by its victors. It is immutable, and yet should this star continue upon its path, look, the light.
I feel so sorry for him. I really do. Dude, I feel so sorry for him. Wow. Going back to Hey Guys said, I hope you said farewell to Themis for me. Recent events have given me not only a few to focus on my research, but also insight into my own origins, truly to seek if I could never hope to repay. As La Habrea said, I am not Ericthonius, yet I bear a part of him inside me, and I shall do what I can to follow the traces he has left behind in the present day. A spark has been struck in my mind. I am ready to pursue my research with the fervor, likes of which I have not seen since youth. Doubtless, I shall have need of you in the days and moons ahead. When that time comes, I only hope that you will once again lend me your sound counsel. Until then, be well, my friend. That was sad, yo! Spell speed. That was so sad. Now, I read somewhere that they said to talk to him again. Oh, how do you know they're connected? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I didn't mean to start another cutscene. I'm just gonna skip that for now. I'll talk to him later. Because I am way over time right now. I will read that later. But yeah, someone said online, don't just leave the Pandæmonium raids. You gotta talk to Claudine afterwards because there's, like, for lore. The lore! And I'll go over the lore because I wanted to do something on the 3 Unsundered, and now I have the Unsundered's full stories. They're done. I have the 3 Unsundered's full stories now. So that's gonna be something in progress for a while. But that was really good. The fights were fun. The story was good. I feel so bad for them, though. It's kind of like a melodrama, almost like a Shakespearean comedy. Like, it sucks for them pretty much through all of Pandæmonium and afterwards, because Ericthonius becomes a steward of Pandæmonium and gets sundered when the whole sundering happens. Themis becomes the heart of Zodiark. La Habrea goes insane, probably due to the heart of Sabik that he was carrying, which had the memories of his wife that tried to kill his son. Oh, that was good. I have nothing else to say about it. That was a well-written story, and I like how they brought elements of Ultima the High Seraph and the Heart of Sabik and the final days, and they just like culminated it all together. That was really good. I like that. I guess that's it for now then. I don't really have much else to say. I like that. I'm gonna check up with Claudine later. I'm gonna get the lore aspects of it. I'll read up on that later, but that was really good. That I had a lot of fun. So until next time then, thanks for watching, y'all. Bye-bye.